Reviewer. You review it, I review you. And this is my partner, Mr. It. After the craziness of the last few months, yeah, I figured we should take a break and talk about some video games. Specifically, RWBY Grimm Eclipse. Yeah, you remember RWBY, don't you? The American anime web series? If you don't, then go watch our review of it. Or better yet, just go watch the series. We'll wait. Grimm Eclipse was originally an independent project by RWBY fan Jordan Scott. The game was released for a free download on April 1st, 2014, in celebration of Rooster Teeth's 11th anniversary. It was an endless horror game based off the original Red trailer, where RWBY is fighting with Beowulfs in the snowy field. The amazing thing? The footage you're seeing right now comes from the original version made by Scott himself. In the span of about 3 months. Damn! The game spread through the RWBY fandom like wildfire. So much so that it quickly caught the attention of RWBY's creator, the late Monty Owen. But unlike other fan games that get the attention of the original owners, sorry bronies, when Rooster Teeth asked Scott to take down the download link, it wasn't to stop unsolicited use of their license, but rather to hire him to take the Grimm Eclipse concept and make a full, official RWBY video game. So let's take a look at the finished product, shall we? The story of this game is pretty poorly told, to be honest. I'll explain why in a minute. The premise is that someone is capturing Grimm, mutating them, and releasing them. So Team RWBY is sent in to fight off the Grimm hordes and find out who's responsible. So yeah, it's not a very complex plot. But that's kind of a good thing given how the story is presented. The entire story is given to us through characters giving exposition while you're playing the game. It's not inherently bad, especially when they're talking while there's no action going on. However, I found it kind of hard to pay attention to the dialogue when you're in the middle of a fight. I think this game would benefit from the occasional cutscene, but I can kind of understand why. The game is primarily meant to be played multiplayer, so much so that in the earliest days of the game's early access, it didn't even have a single player mode, which I'm glad that they eventually added. Pretty much any video game critic will tell you that a multiplayer only game will only last about as long as interest in the game itself. The gameplay is pretty basic hack and slash fare. You got your light attacks, heavy attacks, and ranged attacks, an Arkham-style counterattack, which doesn't work quite as well as those games, but it's still useful. There's a dodge move that feels kind of awkward to me, just because it's set to the R1 button as opposed to one of the face buttons. You also get an occasional execution attack, as well as an ultimate attack, which varies from character to character. Oh yeah, there are multiple characters. You have the option to play any character from Team RWBY, and through DLC, any member of Team Juniper. Each character feels unique enough so they're not interchangeable, but still similar enough so that you can easily get used to each one. Though I do hope they'll continue to add more characters to the game. How fun would it be to play characters like Penny, Sun, Neptune, any of the teachers? Hell, Crow, Winter, or any of the characters in the tournament in Volume 3. Though, granted, this game is supposed to take place between Volumes 2 and 3, which would explain why Pyrrha is there, and Yang's situation. Hey, what are you reading anyway? Me. Oh, and please add Zwei! He doesn't even have to be playable, just have him in a support role! Anyway, let's talk about presentation, which is really good. It really feels like running through the world of Remnant, but then again, the show itself does look like a video game. And naturally, the voice performances are well done, though underutilized, and performed by the show's original voice cast. Overall, I'd say this is a pretty good game. Though there are some things I would fix. First off, I think this needs some sort of tutorial mode. Currently, all the game has is one page showing the controls for PC, Xbox, and PS4. It needs something to at least let us practice with the characters. Also, I would like a longer, more involved story. But I understand why it doesn't, because it's primarily focused on being a multiplayer experience. The game is still fun though, and I really like it. I just think there's more you can do with it. But fortunately, Rooster Teeth is still adding stuff to the game. Since the game's release, they've added a Horde mode, which arguably should have been there to begin with, but whatever. They've added new characters to play, and they're still working on new additions. I'd recommend this game for anyone who likes hack and slash gameplay and doesn't care too much about the plot. You know, the kind of people who have fun with games like Overwatch, but don't particularly like first-person shooters. And of course, this is a must for RWBY fans. The game is currently available on Steam for PC and Mac, and from what I understand, there's a console port planned for release late this year. Though I have no idea how much later it can get at this point. I'm the Revere Viewer, and I'm gonna go slay some more Grimm.
There's a point where it tips, there's a point where it breaks, there's a point